Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to talk about budgeting for university and the steps that I took in the first sort of year and also my first 3 semesters, and how I spent my money and how I would suggest setting up your budgeting and spending for when you go to university. Let's jump into it. The first thing you need to look at when thinking about the budgeting or looking at how many finances and money options you've got when you go to university is actually working out how much you have. There will be a link to a video up here explaining the type of loans that you'll get and how much you'll generally get. What you want to do is head over to a maintenance loan calculator and work out the exact amount you're going to be able to take from the government if you apply for a maintenance loan, and then how much money you're going to get from your parents to top that up. Then what you need to do is work out an overall value or an overall calculation of the total amount of money that you have to work with over that whole year or over that semester period. As an example, in a hypothetical scene, you would get £1,444 from the government and £1,700 from your parents. And then you obviously have to add those two values together, and that gives you your overall total for that semester. But that overall total, although it seemingly comes out to near enough £3,200, you obviously need to take into account the cost of your accommodation. So if your accommodation, say, costs £2,100, you obviously need to deduct that. So we've had our £3,100, or whatever the total is, minus the £2,100 for our accommodation, and then we end up with the total here. So this total here is then the amount of money we have in total from when we first go to university to when we leave for the academic break, when we go back at Christmas or Easter or summer. Then what you need to do is calculate the amount of weeks that you have within that term, or if you want to do it by month, you can do it by month as well. I just prefer to do it by weeks. So in this calculation, I've got £1,000 or whatever the total is that is listed here. And what we're going to do is then divide that by the total number of weeks. If you go to university on about the 20th of September, give or take, and go all the way through till just before Christmas, which is about the 18th, dependent on your time, you'll have 13 weeks. So then what we need to do is take the total amount here and divide that by 13. So once you've done that calculation, you're going to get any value in the neighbourhood of about £76, just shy up to about £80 to £90. So that is basically your total amount of money you have each week, and you obviously need to decide how you're going to spend that. If you go down to the pub, you need to whack that in as well and think about bits and bobs. But what I generally used to do is comprise of a spreadsheet. So I have the amount that I've spent in that single week or that single month, and then subtract that from the amount that I have left. So then I can work out how much money I've got to spend within that week, but then also if I want to get anything else for myself, I can use my own funds. So for stuff like camera equipment, that doesn't cover part of my student loan. I get that off my own back and use my own savings for that. But in some instances, if I have a couple of quid left over, I may put it into a side pot and save up and maybe get something for myself, like a new set of chopping boards, a new set of knives, bits and bobs like that, stuff that will really help cultivate your university experience. Budgeting is maybe a little bit daunting, but it's pretty easy if you keep on top of it and have a good check of your finances. What I would also suggest is maybe putting a savings pot together, as I mentioned, like putting a little bit of money to the side. So the way that I worked things is the money would come into my main account, and I would pay for the things all the way through my main account. But with most of the digital savers now, or student accounts, you can also set up a savings account. So for me, I'm with NatWest, and they offer a digital savers account. So that then takes £50 every month at the start of the month and puts that into an account for me. And that really does help because it just sidelines a little bit of the money and basically just allows me to have a little pot of the money at the end of the year. I hope this video has been insightful and helpful in trying to find out how to budget a little bit more. If you have any questions about budgeting or are a little bit unnervy about the university experience, if you want to drop me a message down in the description or head over to my Instagram and message me over there, I'll be happy to speak to you about any of those things. Thanks very much for watching today's video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. See ya!